Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Fan Focus by Anfield Index. You can taste it, can't you? We are nearly on the edge of a huge game. The atmosphere, it's just going to be absolutely electric tonight. Christ, let's just hope it goes the right way. Get your booing voices ready. Excited for it already, and I'm going very shortly. I'm Dave Davis, coming to you from pretty cold and gloomy Edinburgh, but to be honest, no one really cares about that too much, do they? We're all excited about a Real Madrid game, Anfield under the lights, European royalty, the Champions League, a massive game with a bit of extra spice, and we might even talk about murals and other things that go into the mix. But what I love doing, Fan Focus people, is the great thing for me, I get to talk about what fans are saying, the best tweets, the best takes on social media at the moment, get a real feel for what people are going on about, and also a chance for you, if you are watching, to interact, drop your comments in and everything like that. So it feels like a million years ago, wasn't it, that we played Aston Villa at the weekend, but in a way, we kind of needed that game, didn't we? We needed to get back to winning ways ahead of a huge week, because there's obviously tonight and there's Manchester City away at the weekend at the same time as well. And there's been some good tweets, there's been some really good insights around the Aston Villa game, which it was nice just to win, get a 2-0, a clean sheet, Mo Salah break records. So let's have a look at the best fan accounts or the best tweets that we've seen around this. Now, this is one from Sam Maguire, and if you think about the setup for the Villa game, it was a little bit different. As he tweeted, we didn't outright play a double pivot on Saturday, but we had Maka and Szoboszlai taking turns to drop him deep alongside Gravenberch. Also, much more compact to the team to help with the passing options. Went back to last season a little bit, didn't he, Arne Slot, if you're honest? Yeah, there was new signings in the lineup, of course, because Mohamed Salah, with Alisson being injured and Hugo Ekitike being the only real recognised striker available, was always going to play. But aside from that, it was a restoring to the team for a lot of what we saw last season, wasn't it? It was that golden three in the middle, McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, as I think many expected at the same time. Although, did they? But we'll talk about Florian Wirtz shortly, because there's a lot of takes on that as well. It was a lot like last season. Arne Slot, for want of a better phrase, reverted to type. And we've all got our thoughts on what's going to happen going forward. But actually, there's one player that's a lie already. There's two players getting a lot of praise. And I want to highlight the first one. There's some great tweets and great takes out there on this one. Shout out to Bram Barry, as he said, Dominic Szoboszlai wearing the 8 on an Adidas Liverpool kit is everything I'd hoped it'd be and more. What a beautiful man. And to almost double pair that, I asked David Lynch on Media Matters as well about Dominic Szoboszlai. So let's just have a listen to what he said about this one.
He's the heartbeat, which is it's an interesting one, because I think a few people maybe thought he'd be the one to be sacrificed when Florian Wirtz come in. Well, I'm sure there's more to come from Wirtz, but even when that happens, I really don't think you can take Szoboszlai out.
Damn right, you can't take Dominic Szoboszlai out. Liverpool are essentially at times this season have been Dominic Szoboszlai FC, haven't they? He has been absolutely sensational. He's playing tonight. If we're going to have any joy in this one and against City, he's going to be absolutely paramount to it, isn't he? So it was good to see him getting the praise he deserves. And that was generally a feeling amongst the fan base this week. Praise for Dominic Szoboszlai. Now, interestingly, I'm going to be honest on this. Mo's had a bit of a rough time recently on the pitch and, with the fan base at the same time as well. So there's a few bits here I think it's just worth calling out for Mo Salah, some good tweets and different bits. Slot said after the game, Mo scoring is not a surprise to anyone, but he was also strong in holding the ball up and helping the team out. This is the Mo we all want to see. Damn right it is. But actually, a little bit of your stats, your analysis, your nerd stuff, if you want to call it that, as Opta pointed out, that was Salah's 276 goal involvement for the Reds in the Premier League, which takes him level with Wayne Rooney for the most goals and assists for a single club in the competition. With, I think if you saw the stats, nearly 200 less or so appearances as well. Insane. Yeah, look at that. As they also had 188 Premier League goals, 88 assists for the King. So it's right that he was getting praise, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant from the fan accounts, from the analysts, from the stats. There was so much to like about this weekend and some great takes. But here we're going to come up with an absolute shit take, to be honest. An absolutely ridiculous decision. You may have seen it yesterday. The FIFA Pro Team of the Year. I genuinely can't believe I'm saying this, but as that tweet goes, won the Premier League, won the Golden Boot, won the Playmaker Award, 57 goal contributions in 53 games. And only Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool was in the FIFA Pro Team of the Year. Now, shout out to Virgil, because it's insane, that record, isn't it? 2019, 2020, 22, 24, 25. Insane, but quite right for the greatest centre-back we've ever seen. But how the hell Cole Palmer is above Mo Salah in this? Answers on a postcard, please. There was that period of last season, do you remember? I don't really care, but just a huge period where Cole Palmer wasn't getting goals and they were talking about it. So how the frig is he in the team of the season ahead of Mo Salah? Mo Salah, who was in the running for the Ballon d'Or as well. It's honestly, there's 1,000,001 questions on that, but not that we really care anyway. Everyone knows how good the King is. But just a scandalous decision. Other couple of fan takes is worth mentioning just for the Villa game as well. Shout out to Moby with this one. I think a few picked up on it. We actually went into the stats on this. The win against Villa yesterday was so needed to get us back on track. However, they didn't attack us with long balls. They only pinged 47, the same way others have success. Example, United went 91, Brentford 75, and Palace 82. Have we solved the long ball play? I'm not sure, but we will find out the next few matches. I think it's interesting that Villa didn't subscribe to the blueprint, didn't they? There was a blueprint to, get joy against the Reds this season. Long balls, go direct, pick up the second button. Honest Lots talked about it in press conferences, so it's nothing that's brand new. But they didn't do it, did they? Villa came to Anfield and tried to play football. Real Madrid will definitely try to play football. They will not invoke any long ball tactics. In a weird way, could a better team suit us more, like it did on Saturday? It will be interesting to see on that. I don't know if it's going to be different, because maybe it's as good, maybe better. Who knows with this one? But the atmosphere, and a few mentioned it on Saturday. And shout out to this fan account, Taintless Red. It's been mentioned enough, but the fans in Anfield were brilliant for us against Villa. Slot mentioned it post-match, and here the players were grateful for it. Anfield was loud and supportive, with songs sung for the players and the manager. It's just what they needed to hear. Yeah, it was. I was at Anfield on Saturday. Absolutely electric it was. I think it'll be even better tonight. That's because of the backdrop and the other stories it involved. But it'll be a different type of atmosphere tonight in a way, won't it? Europeans just hit a little bit differently. And also because of who we're playing, the team and the individuals, that'll just add a little extra spice. So you can be honest and say, you're absolutely looking for it to go up and expecting it to go up another level tonight. Interesting comment there from a certain Sam Maguire saying, not enough Sam Maguire tweets on the show. Boo. It's like Field of Dreams, that's the one, isn't it? The Kevin Costa one. Produce the content and it'll come for you, Samuel. But until then, we've got other fan accounts to talk about. And shout out to Rory Greenfield for this, because this is one I think is just starting to a longer term question. I think Slot went back to short term needs on Saturday, but longer term, maybe even media term, we've got a few questions. So Rory tweeted this after the game on Saturday saying, this is how we should have started the season. Make gradual changes, keep it tight, and have a platform to win games. Hopefully we continue and then allow Wirtz and Isak to come in and shine. Kirkez will find his feet in time, but the back four looks more settled right now. It's a tough one, this, isn't it? Because you were happy with the win on Saturday. You were happy with most of what you saw. Of course, we're still a little open at times, etc. But you have to be honest and say it was Slot reverting to type, wasn't it? McAllister back in from last season, Wirtz on the bench. Robertson in for Kirkez as well. A lot of what we saw last season, almost not abandoning what we've been trying to do, but it does just raise a few questions, doesn't it? And you're all of a sudden thinking, maybe been thinking it for a while, 450-ish million spent. And he's the best team now without most of the players that we've bought. I mean, before you think that's too strong, there's a few others just questioning, what's going on in that sense. And before he starts crying, Sam has wrote this about, just that, look at that line at the top from his Sporting Life article. Mo Salah had his best game of the season with Florian Wirtz on the bench and Alexander Isak not in the Liverpool squad. Arne Slot needs to find a way to get the best out of them all. And it's funny because Rory had before, didn't he? Maybe they need to be introduced, or that's how we should have started the season, with almost the same team largely. And I don't know what you call it, drip feeding, introducing these players. But you can't really disagree with what Sam wrote there. And, it's well worth a read, that Sporting Life one. But Dominic Szoboszlai in the 10. Florian Wirtz can't replicate that, can he? Hugo Ekitike, the link up, the different bits. Can Alexander Isak be the same type of forward? I'm not sure. I've almost never thought I'd say this. Kirkez and Robertson, and I'm not saying can Kirkez be Robertson. It's just a bit head scratching, I'd say. How Robbo was consistently allowed to, bomb on, as we've seen from the games he played, and Saturday, those crosses. Whereas very much Kirkez has been attached, hasn't he, to Virgil van Dijk's hip. What is that about? Could it be with the new, the change of shape? And I'm sure you've seen Jamie Carragher fixate on the man-for-man pressing element that came in against Villa at times. Does that play a part? But it is a bit of a question for now. How many of these £450 million signings does Liverpool's best team include right now? As Rory said, should they be drip-fed in? I don't know. It is a tough one, isn't it? Question for Arne Slot to answer. And at some point, how is he going to introduce Florian Wirtz, Isak and others into the team with success and not going on a run that includes 6 defeats in 7 games? It's a tough one, isn't it? Although it's important to say for Florian Wirtz, just for, I know it's a fan focus, but important to keep that focus on what managers and other people have been saying about Florian Wirtz. Now, shout out to Mighty Mojo, Mo Stewart, on this. He asked a great question, and I'm not sure Arne Slot quite got what he was asking him in the press conference, but he said, many times you've had to play 3 times in 7 days, and for a new player from a different league, the Premier League is a bit more intense. He's already played a lot. He's had impact on games, but he's been unlucky with the end product. I'm not sure I fully agree on that because, well, yes, he's played games, but if you think of the big games like Everton at home, the United game, the ones that have mattered, Florian Wirtz has been relegated to the bench, hasn't he? Even like Chelsea away as well. And you saw it on Saturday, relegated to the bench again. Kevin came on 75 minutes, wasn't it? In like a false nine position. So we had false nine to left wing against Palace in the double pivot in multiple games, the right side of midfield. I'm not sure I really buy this. A little part of me is just starting to think that Arne Slot doesn't really know how best to use him. And I may be pronouncing this wrong. So Chris IOIO is saying like Old McDonald's farm he's there from, but it's not his fault. The attackers have been shooting blanks. A little bit of that, Chris. I mean, he should have a few more assists to his name, but at the same time, you just do get the feeling, I'm struggling to avoid this, Arne Slot's not sure how to get Florian Wirtz into this lineup. Maybe even Alexander Isak, and that question, Kirkes, there's a lot of question marks, and that doesn't mean they're bad players as I'm saying this, please, but other fan accounts are alluding to it. How is he going to integrate them into this team? Question he is going to have to answer, and answer very quickly. In terms of this game and the news from this morning, I'm honestly more astonished that people are astonished with this one. As it says, the Trent mural, I'm sure you've seen it this morning. Al Rata. Adios, rat. The words that have been, let's call it, painted onto the mural. Now, in typical style, the UK, and I want to phrase this carefully, the UK press and media has gone to town, and I've seen a few saying shocking, disrespectful, various other pros on shows that have had their say on it this morning. Of course, they've been wheeled in to provide an opinion. I am genuinely, I'm astonished that people are surprised it's taken until now for this to happen. Did you not think it was going to happen at some point? I thought, actually, when the whole thing got confirmed, there was going to be something done. But what I am tired of, sick and tired of, I've got to be honest on this, is pundits, presenters, fans as well of other clubs or people who have no affiliation with the Reds telling us what we should be thinking. Whatever I say now is not going to change you for a second. There'll be some, and I get it, they'll think it's a bit disrespectful of what he's done at Liverpool. I understand that. Completely understand that. There'll be others at the same time thinking, no, he is a rat. Look at what he did. Look at how he strung it all along, the Duolingo, this, but all that. I am not going to change for 1 second your opinion. I'm not trying to either. All I'm saying is, in my opinion, I'm just a bit surprised that everyone's surprised it's taken this long to happen. I thought it would have happened before. And actually, everyone's entitled to the view. I'm just tired, sick and tired of other fan bases, pundits and everything telling us what we should think. It just, why that isn't picked up on and picked up on hard, I have no idea. As Andico says there, double standards are mad. Played up to Newcastle fans with Isak. Yeah, fair shout, and look at what happened there as well, but just gets annoyed. Now, this isn't a fan take, but let's not lie that all fans enjoyed this bit as well. Virgil was asked about this, wasn't he, in the mix zone, said, when he was asked about, Trent and how he's feeling, no, has he been in contact with him? No, I live my life and he lives his in Madrid. Now, I saw some media accounts tried to make out it was a rattled reaction or impassioned. There's quite a few journos who come out and said, this was in the mix zone after the game and he was quite calm. Just literally almost matter of fact that, no, I've not really spoken to Trent. Why would I? Yeah, of course, it's a massive game against a rival. And that's exactly what he is in this one. In terms of a few stats for this one as well, people, there's some good ones going out. And shout out to Bees on this, Andrew Beasley. Look at that for a stat. Liverpool have won 20 of their last 22 home Champions League games, including each of their last 12 in a row. So history's with us a bit on this, isn't it? But then again, someone's going to tell me, well, do you remember when they beat us at home, hammered us in the knockout rounds? Do you remember when Nunes did that little flick through his legs and we were 2-0 up and it started so well? So someone's going to bring that into the mix. But it is a good record. And the last time we played Real Madrid at home, 2-0, wasn't it, at the same time? But this is one I wanted to home in on, the talking point. Look, have you seen the media reaction to Trent? You'll probably see it if you haven't watched it already. He did an interview for Amazon Prime, didn't he? And it was nonsense about his barber and getting his hair cut with Jude and all this. But again, I talked about the media being tone deaf around this. Amazon Prime did an interview. And the presenter, I don't know her name, but literally says to him, I hope you get the reception you deserve, a good reception. Honest to God. And a shout out to a fan account, Abigail Rudkin, on this, saying, I think it's up to the Liverpool fans in the ground what reception he deserves. He's not in a Liverpool shirt anymore. He's here to try and beat us. Spot on. Absolutely on the money. He's not a Liverpool player anymore. He's coming to harm our Champions League campaign tonight and get points for Real Madrid. Although, let's be honest, all the signs are he's going to be on the bench like he was unused sub in the last one. It'll probably be Valverde and the iron lung he's got at right back, won't it, in all honesty? But absolutely spot on. So in terms of this, how can I best summarise what is going to happen to Trent tonight? So I'm going to try and do it in as minimal words as possible for you. And the only way I can really conjure that is, boo! Fuck off! That is kind of the remnants of how it's going to be for Trent tonight. And who expects any different? Now, honestly, I couldn't give a damn if you call that classless or taste that. And by the way, do you know I'll be saying that? The national media. Get ready for the narratives after it, Reds. You know what's coming. Booed, all that. Who gives a shit? He's a Real Madrid player coming to harm us tonight. He will get the exact treatment he deserves for that. End of story. In terms of other things it's worth you just being aware of, there was the press conference last night. Ryan Gravenberch and Arne Slot went up for Liverpool. And by the way, just you could see the tastelessness in the Spanish question, especially for them journalists. I'm not always sure Grav fully understood what he was being asked at the same time as well, or why he was being asked. But there was that kind of feeling in the press conference, wasn't there, about like, oh, you're enjoying playing these greats. This Madrid team are unbeatable. Utter nonsense from some of the Spanish cohorts. But a couple of clips and bits I wanted to pull out for you. So let's just have a little listen to Ryan Gravenberch and what he said, first of all.
Obviously, I'm happy here, so we have to see. We haven't talked yet, but we will see.
Ryan, there was obviously a lot of support from the fans for the
And I'll leave that one there because that was actually about Gravenberch or Ryan being asked about his contract and said, very happy here. We'll wait and see. Now, I mentioned Dominic Szoboszlai, didn't I, in this one as well. You forget how long ago, a good few years it is since they signed. We need to get them to renew, don't we? They are a big part of the future. Probably Alexis McAllister you'd include in that as well. But, you know, there's some weird questions in there about his future and, you know, how he's doing. But it was good to see the green shoots of recovery from him. But, yeah, so that was Ryan Gravenberch saying, we're not talking yet, but he's happy here. Wasn't quite a stick it under my nose and I'll sign it. But it was encouragement at the same time as well. Other couple of few clips I'll give you from the press conference. It's worth just listening to. Have a listen to what Arne Slot said in this one.
I would like to ask you if you could send a message to the Liverpool fans after all the defeats in the last weeks. the win against Aston Villa last Saturday. It would be a message of hope, it would be a message of patience, it would be an apology. What would you like to say to the Liverpool fans?
You already gave a lot of answers in your question, but I can say to them, show up tomorrow and help us again like you did Saturday. So they were a big help for the team. Yeah, I think Anfield showed Saturday how important they can be for the team.
Anfield showed on Saturday how important they can be for the team. And they're going to show the exact same on Tuesday night. It will just be a wall of sound, whistles at times that greet Real Madrid, and quite rightly, as it should be. But I wanted to play you that clip, just an example of, as I said earlier, the way some of the journalists, actors, and the questions they asked in the press conference. As Arne Slot pulled that journo up on, you're giving all the answers and like talking about apologies. Like, honestly, it was quite, not the phrases, I'd say illuminating, but interesting just how, some of the overseas journalists acted in this one. Bit bizarre, I've got to say that. If you haven't seen it, well worth a watch as ever. And the final Arne Slot clip I wanted to give you from the press conference. Let's have a listen to this one.
Last season in this fixture, Conor Bradley had one of his best games, I thought, at least of the season. What have you made of his progress since you've been in charge of him, and what more would you ask from him as he steps up his development?
Stay fit, because he played very good in that game. Unfortunately for 80 minutes, and then he went out with an hamstring injury. So that has been his biggest challenge till now. Be able to play every 3 days on this intensity without getting injured, and that's not been easy for him because he missed a big part of preseason. But the main thing for him will be being able to play every 3 days without getting injured, and then I'm sure, like Florian and like all the others we have who are adjusting at this moment of time.
Interesting. Because I've got to be honest, I don't think Conor Bradley's had the best of seasons by any means. And there's a few question marks at right back, isn't there still? It's never fair just to compare him to the Manu shirt he's inherited, because they are different types of players, of course. But for what Liverpool need in a right back, there's been question marks. And Arne Slot's right around Conor Bradley. I mean, how many injuries? I mean, he was injured the pre-season before, injured this pre-season. He's absolutely spot on. If Conor Bradley's going to, fulfill this potential or really make it to the top elite level, if you want to call it that, he's got to stay fit, hasn't he? Doesn't seem to be able to play these games. Although what you're hoping he invokes is part, and I'm saying this carefully, part of the memory from the Real Madrid game last season. Do you remember when he thundered through and absolutely did Mbappe? Mind him doing the same to Trent. Obviously, that's going to happen tonight. But then, as he said, on 80 minutes, went off with a hamstring injury. So Conor Bradley's going to play tonight, zero doubt about that. 2 big games in a week, and then obviously you hope he plays for Manchester City. This is a big test for the kid. Can he keep the performance level up there as well as his fitness level up there at the same time? There's a real question mark around that. But then again, it's a huge game. Question marks are going to be asked of every single player, aren't they, at the same time? But just worth shouting that out on Fan Focus as well. And the final bit, including both clubs, but not actually linked to the pitch directly, it's more off the field matters. The GOAT tweeted, didn't he? Indy Callier, David Lynch's favourite account apparently, that Liverpool have offered him a new contract and it's been sent to his agent. Real Madrid have been informed. Being genuinely honest, got nothing on this at all. No one else seems to have it. So never throwing shade at the GOAT Indy Callier at all, but we'll see if anything more gets said about this. And of course, it does not mean that Ibu's going to accept. I think we've all got suspicions of which club we hate and where he's going to end up for next year. We'll see, eh? But some great tweets, some absolutely brilliant ones are in there, and as typical, the fan media is just at its highest level ever for the takes you get. So shout out to Sam Maguire, Bram Barry, Taintless Red, Moby, Rory Greenfield, and all the other accounts on there. Great shout out from Abigail Rudkin as well around the Trent reactions. Get your booze ready for tonight in the stadium. Even if it's TV for your living room, you know it's all the same. If you want to give a boo, give it to FIFA Pro as well, because great that Virgil's involved, but how can you not have Mo Salah in the team of the year after what he did last season? Some great shouts as well. Some not for now, but longer term question marks around getting Wirtz and Isak into the team. And then the other thing to mention tonight, because it's Europe, is this where Florian Wirtz comes into the team? Because if Arne Slot's got question marks in big Premier League games such as Everton at home, Chelsea away, Villa on Saturday, played him against Frankfurt, didn't he? Will he play him in this one? And if he does, where does he play him? Will he want to, disrupt that McAllister, Gravenberg, Szoboszlai midfield? I know Cody Gakpo is his second son, clearly. But would he consider playing Wirtz from the left in this one? As I think many fans, it's fair to say, want to see, just looking at the general accounts that are out there at the moment. We've only got to wait a few hours to find out. Love the tweets, love the fan accounts, love the comments. Always enjoy doing this one. Tuesday, the 4th of November, ahead of a massive game against Real Madrid. That was a fan focus for Anfield Index.